Hey y'all, my name is Yvette and welcome to my channel. Today I'm talking about my TBR for the middle grade magic readathon. This is a readathon focused on reading middle grade lit and it's running from August 1st to August 16th. I am a co-host along with Kara over the Wild Book Garden, Kier from Kier the Scrivener, Kelly from Cozy Reader Kelly, and Yar from Array of Reading. For more information about the readathon, I'll leave links to my announcement video, our Twitter account, and all of my co-hosts down in the description. The first book I am hoping to read is More to the Story by Hena, and this would go for the first half of the first challenge, which is to read an own voices book with a main character who is different from you. The author is Pakistani American and Muslim, and I believe all the characters in here are Muslim as well. This is a little woman's retelling about four sisters living in Georgia. One of them, Jamila, she's just been made feature editor at her school paper, but she's having a hard time getting any of her ideas past the editor-in-chief. Instead of writing about anything that she wants to write about, she's assigned to write a story about the new boy in school. And now she's worried that whatever she ends up writing isn't going to be interesting enough to win a journalism competition that she wants to enter. I am not familiar with the Little Woman story at all. I haven't read the book or watched the movie, but the story looks really cute and the cover is adorable. The next book I'm hoping to read is The Way to Rio Luna by Zoraida Cordova, and this would go for the second half of the first challenge, which is to read a book with a main character that shares some part of your identity. The main characters in this book are Latinx, and so am I. The author of this book is actually Ecuadorian and I am Mexican American, but I'm counting this for the Latinx part of the identity. This book is about a pair of siblings who are separated in foster care, and the younger brother hears that his sister has run away, but he doesn't believe that. He knows that his sister has actually gone to this magical land called Rio Luna and that she's eventually going to come back for him. However, as years go by, that doesn't happen and he begins to lose hope until he finds a book that just might be a map to Rio Luna. I got this book as an ARC sent to me by the author, but it already came out in early June, so I'm really hoping to get to this soon. The next book I'm hoping to read is Rick by Alex Gino, and this would go for the second challenge of reading a book that gives you hope. This book is about a boy in middle school exploring his identity. His best friend is a jerk sometimes, and his grandfather is always trying to talk to him about girls, but for some reason that just makes him uncomfortable, and he's trying to figure out why that makes him uncomfortable. That leads to him joining the Rainbow Spectrum Club at his school, where he learns about all different kinds of genders and identities and starts to find his own way. If I'm not mistaken, this is a follow-up to a previous book that this author wrote, George, and in that book the main character is a trans girl named Melissa, and from the summary I'm pretty sure she's going to be a character in this book, which I am very excited about. The next book I am hoping to read is Efren Divided by Ernesto Cisneros, and this is going for the third challenge of reading a book with a serious topic. This is a book about family separation. Efren is the oldest of three siblings, and though he was born in America, his parents are undocumented, and one day his mom doesn't come home and he finds out that she's been deported to Mexico, and now he's just trying to take care of his family and reunite them. Family separation is one of those issues that really gets to me, but this is a middle grade, and though that doesn't necessarily mean that it's not going to be as hard-hitting, it is written for a younger audience, so I'm hoping that it'll be a bit easier to read about this subject. The next book I'm hoping to read is Little Leaders, Bold Women in Black History by Vashanti Harrison, and this would go for the fourth challenge of read a story time book, which could be a fairy tale, folk tale, picture book, etc. This is a non-fiction picture book about women in Black history. It's supposed to cover both iconic figures and lesser known figures, just everyday women doing extraordinary things, and it looks really cute. The next book I'm hoping to read is Lalani of the Distant Sea by Erin Estrada Kelly, and this would go for the fifth challenge of reading a book that is fantastical or imaginative. This is a fantasy based on Filipino folklore, and it's written by a Filipino American author. It's about a 12-year-old girl who lives in a village that is shadowed by a vengeful mountain, and one day she makes a wish that puts her village in danger, so she has to set out on the distant sea in search of a good life's fortune, and this is something that people usually don't come back from. The summary doesn't tell me a whole lot about what this book is about, but it sounds fantastical to me and I'm sold. And finally, the last book I'm hoping to read for this readathon is My Heart Fills with Happiness by Monique Grace Smith, and this would go for the sixth challenge of reading a book by a marginalized author that you think will bring you joy. And the author of this book is Canadian and Cree, Lakota, and Scottish. This is another picture book, and it is supposed to, quote, serve as a reminder for little ones and adults alike to reflect on and cherish moments in life that bring us joy. And that official description fits this prompt so well, like in the most literal sense. The author of this book wrote this to support Indigenous children and their families and to encourage children to reflect on what makes them happy, and that sounds wonderful. So those are the books I'm hoping to read for the middle grade magic readathon. Make sure to go check out my co-host TBRs, and if you're participating in this readathon, let me know what you plan on reading in the comments. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.